They'll fight for freedom wherever there's trouble. G.I. Joe is there. G.I. Joe U.S.S. Flagg, 1985. Probably the largest playset vehicle toy that was ever produced in the 80s or ever, I think. Fully assembled, this thing is 7 feet long and about 4 foot wide. The box itself, I remember seeing on the shelves at a store called Best in Sacramento, California when I was a kid, and it was priced at $99.95. And of course, my mom was like, "Nope, you can't have that." So I never got one as a kid, but actually my neighbor ended up getting one that Christmas, and you can rest assured that we were there quite often playing on that thing. In fact, I ended up getting a Night Raven, and I used to ride my bike with the Night Raven under one arm downhill to his house just so we could play on the thing. And this one I acquired from a vintage toy shop that I used to work at here in Las Vegas, and it was sort of the centerpiece of the store. And made a few payments on it, and over the course of a month or two, and then took it home. It's 100% complete. Has all the parts that are usually missing, and like the mast cap there, and the that little railing on the fantail deck. Those are the key parts that make it 100% complete. And yeah, it's one of those ones that's become sort of the centerpiece of my display room here. For me, G.I. Joe was one of those toy lines that, as a kid growing up in the 80s, I think we all had either a few characters or some vehicles or whatnot. And that's kind of the basis of why I collect sort of things. It's toys and things like that I have those visceral memories of playing with. In fact, one of the first vehicles I ever remember acquiring was the Cobra Hiss tank. I think it was 1982 or 3 when we had spent a Christmas in Tahoe, and after opening presents and getting a couple G.I. Joes, I just remember playing in the snow with this Hiss tank, and that's just one of those memories that was always stayed with me. And over the years, as I was growing up, I had a few vehicles. Like I said, I had the Night Raven. I did have a X-14 Sky Striker, which you can see I do not currently have. This is my placeholder for one. I did have a couple, but they were the anniversary ones, not the original one. And I just haven't come across one that's complete and in good enough shape for me as of yet, but eventually I will probably pick one of those up. In the meantime, I've got a few other vehicles here that are all, on display and kind of take up some of the vast deck space you see here. Got your X-16 Ghost Striker. This ain't G.I. Joe, that's 18 by Ertl. Your Tomahawk, which is one that I actually remember bringing to show and tell at my elementary school, and then the principal ended up taking it away from me, and then I had to get my parents to go there and get it back. Yeah, as far as characters, I got a few Joes, not too many. Ones that I just remember playing with. Fridge Prairie, he was one that I mailed away for. Of course, Gung Ho and his dress blues just look squared away as usual. A few other characters. Yeah. Another unique thing is this custom display base that I actually designed myself in Illustrator, and then took the vector design and had it cut on a Laguna Tools CNC router, which we had used to produce officially licensed coffee tables from different franchises for this company I worked for. So the guy that was producing our tables made the cuts for me, and then I was able to assemble it and then throw on some custom-made graphics and paint it with a little bit of house paint, and so it helps kind of complete the look of a hull, or a proper sort of display base, and kind of a little storage cubby as well. I've got a couple other openings on the back side of it. But yeah, it's one of those toys that Some might consider the holy grail of G.I. Joes. Others might argue that maybe some rare key characters, like your Goldhead Steel Brigade or your Pimp Daddy Destro or your recalled, Roadblock might be more of the holy grail for some. But, I didn't play with Joes in the 90s. I played with them in the 80s. So those 90 Joes don't really, aren't really on my radar. But yeah, this is it. This is the 1985 G.I. Joe U.S.S. Flagg. Thanks.